questions, I would have is, all right, well, how do you get a renter? How do you advertise for a renter? How do you, qualify a renter? I know, you've learned a lot, man, about qualifying. What would you say to those people who are like, man, I'm just uncertain about, pulling that trigger because, man, how do I get that renter? How do, and I know a lot of people are looking to rent. So what are you doing to protect yourself? Because you've had a great experience with renters.
Yes, absolutely, guys. And so the way I start the process, if I have a unit coming up, I tell everybody, all my resources, whether it be loan officers, real estate agents, and through the restaurant. I have a lot of friends that I've met over the years through the restaurant, so I can call them up and let them know, this is a unit that I have coming up, if you know anyone. Even the previous owner of the restaurant, he invests in properties up here in the high desert, and I call him up. He calls me whenever he needs something. So it's all about networking at this point for myself. But what I love to do also is use social media to my advantage. And I get it out there on the Facebook pages locally. I do Instagram locally. So, and at that point, if people are interested, I have them go pick up an application at the restaurant, and that's the best way I can do it because I have my W-2 income job as well. I can't be at the restaurant full time, but my wife and the hostess or the waitresses can help them with that application. And not only that, they'll probably sit down and have lunch, and boom, it's a hit.
Win-win.
It's a win-win.
A lot of people have the applications outside
Yeah.
just posting up a sign. In the past I had success, but having those applications
Yeah.
ready to do that.
So once I find a prospect or once I get a tenant that's a possible tenant, right at that point, and I'm going to proceed with the process of screening them. I get their information, their social security number, and everything else. And I have an app that I use called Tenant Background Check. And I found this on Google. Just simply looked it up, and it costs $40 to run a background check, credit check, and even if they have any medical expenses as well. So it does a really thorough job. And if they have a 640 and above credit score, then I ask for a certain amount for the deposit. But if they do have less of a credit than 640, then I do ask for an additional amount at that point.
It's for certain compensating factors.
Absolutely.
What are you looking for when you pull that credit? As just your experience. 'Cause you're
yeah.
obviously, what are you looking for from what you've learned, and what's
No evictions, no. I mean, they're the credit, right? They have to show me that they have to prove to me that they can pay for this rent every month. Just like when you qualify somebody for a loan, it's simply qualifying them for the lease.
exactly?
The lease
So
agreement.
that number two is really important for these three things. Kind of
Income,
what you've
yes.
been doing.
Absolutely.
All right, your credit, and then you're like, can you afford this? What's your job? What are you looking into that? Yeah, and when it comes to the home, it's really the 2-year work history.
Yep.
Not necessarily being at the actual job for 2 years, but when it comes to buying a home, once you're at that 2-year work history, no gaps, and you're solid, man, you're in the game. Even if you have a good
Yes.
work history more than 2 years and something happened through COVID, once you're back 6 months, you're in the game. So, man, and just owning a home is what's opened the doors, having the real assets. So get back to it. So when you're pulling their credit, is it free? I mean, what? So
No, I charge them for once we start the process. I charge them a certain fee for the background and credit check, and the company that I go through online, they charge me a certain amount. So that payment covers the payment for. So I don't even have to pay for it out of my own pocket. The tenant does. Okay. Now, the ultimate qualifying factor of my system is my wife. Okay, I have to meet the whole family that's going to be living at the property along with my wife. She's there with me, and ultimately she's the one that tells me, you know what, I get a good vibe from them. Let's start the process. Or you know what, Ray, don't even give them a second look. I just don't feel their vibe. But that's how it goes.
Yeah, I like that. So
Instincts,
instincts.
A woman's
as well.
instincts is so powerful.
Amen. Amen to that. So you do have your on paper, your legit way. Okay, you get past this screening. Final screening is
My wife,
your wife's gut feeling.
the boss.
Hallelujah. I'm into that.
Well, guys, you know what? Really quick, before we finish this show, Robert, what stops everyone from moving and acting is scarcity, right? Fear of losing money, of course. But the way I've overcome that fear, guys, is educating myself every single day on how to invest, what signs to look for, whether it's a good investment or not, using formulas. Now, I didn't know, I didn't get to this level by myself. I had to build a team. Robert has been part of my team since 2019. So please, guys, give him a call because he's going to be able to let you know what you need to do, how to do it with the resources you have. So please, Robert, share your info so they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, and this comes from a lot of experience. Back in '98, when I was 20 years old, I was thrown in this business. I come from a single mother household. Growing up, I was the poorest one out of the group, you might say. Even my friends to this day, I still get hand-me-downs from them. It was just part of the growing up. So, going through a lot at 20 years old, being thrown in this business next to the top guy. That's how I learned. And we had to move to Washington because you didn't need an actual license out there. So I started it out to quote a rate. So learning how I learned it, learning kind of the hard way, having rentals at a young age, building up an empire, losing it, and then rebuilding it. So I have a lot of, experience when it comes to, it's really easy too, is one debt's usually cheaper than 5 debts, and it's,
Yeah.
and the numbers have to make sense.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. Doesn't make sense to increase payments. If that restructuring it isn't the way to go, how do we get it to that next step? Because I'm in a similar situation when it comes to, okay, what do I do now? Because I've kind of outgrown my house, but I'm long term. I'll never sell. So what am I looking to? Okay, looking into other aspects to, how do I get that next real estate? We're always working at it. We're never stopping. Even the market's not stopping Raymond from making his next moves after his projects are
Right.
done, replenishing certain cash with borrowed money.
Yep.
Tax free because borrowed money.
Tax-free,
Paying
baby.
interest on it. Yeah, my number is 760-669-7813. 760-669-7813. My NMLS number is 322918. Over 25 years experience. I work with FBC Mortgage. The best way to remember is fresh baked cookies. So FBC Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 152859. I'm on an amazing team. I have such a great transaction coordinator, processor, underwriting, management is, I go to the regional manager. It's really, I'm very blessed when it comes to having such resources to achieve the goals, and you're going to get coached up properly. You're going to know all about, you're going to, without having to get personal, and then we can go from there. Then we'll see if we pull credit and go to the next steps. Raymond, what about you?
So my wife and I were local investors up here in the high desert, and we do own a restaurant here in Hesperia, California called the Springhouse Family Restaurant, located at 16441 Main Street, Hesperia, California. Phone number is 760-949-2441. It's an all-American diner. Come out and join us, guys. And not only that, you can reach me on my YouTube channel called Investing in Rentals. I found my passion, along with my Instagram page and TikTok at Aquino Ray 99. Go watch my videos, drop me a message, and if you need any help answering any questions about this show, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, guys, listen to us every weekend. I also have a YouTube channel called Mortgage Talk Podcast. Hopefully Raymond's going to help me post more videos.
Yes, I will help you with
I
that,
just
Robert.
sprung that on you. So we're going to put the whole episode. So call us 760-669-7813. We'll keep you posted on Raymond's his journey as becoming a realtor.
Yes,
and
I can't
we hope
wait.
to talk to you soon. Reach out and give us a call. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Give me a call.
Thank you, everyone. Love y'all.
Thank you. Love you too.
Mwah.
I'm good.
All right.